Alright, listen up. This is the story of a kid from the trenches who turned his pain into a million streams. NBA Youngboy. From Baton Rouge corners to viral videos and beefs that lit up the net. He moved like a storm. I'm gonna tell it like it happened. Raw, no sugar. Sit back, this one got love, loss, and lessons. Where he came from. He came up in Baton Rouge, the block where survival was a school. Mama did what she could, but the hood had different rules. Young boy learned early that the world ain't fair. People leave, promises break, and money don't show up on time. He wasn't born into comfort, he was born into scramble that made him hungry. On them streets, he saw friends come and go. Some locked up, some lost to the life. He started writing like a way out. Not just rhymes, but a diary for the pain. You could feel the honesty in his voice. It wasn't flexing for clout, it was therapy. Real heartbreaks, real anger, real love for his people. That honesty cut through noise, because when you speak the truth, people listen. There was also chaos. Young boy bounced between houses, dealt with run-ins with the law, and had nights that would break most folks. But he got harder, not colder. He put his scars into songs. That's the part most won't tell you. The music wasn't the plan at first, it was the outlet. The studio became his confessional. When he hit records, the streets heard themselves. The rise, internet mixtapes and loyal fans. Then something happened, the internet heard him. Dude started dropping tracks on YouTube and SoundCloud, and people felt him. It wasn't radio polish, it was raw, emotion over beats you could feel in your ribcage. Fans didn't just follow him, they related to him. That loyalty turned into numbers fast. He dropped mixtapes after mixtapes, each one like a new chapter. Some people thought he'd be a one-hit wonder. Nah, he was prolific, studio after studio. He put out music like a floodgate opened. The streets gave him the crown, not the charts, but the charts came later. Social media turned his face into a movement. Fans called themselves soldiers, and he gave them songs that felt like home for people who've been through the same fights. What set him apart? Real talk. He didn't act like he'd been saved from the hood. He kept telling the stories. He also had a voice that cut through the trap beats and sad piano. A voice that sounded like survival. That voice turned a kid from Baton Rouge into a phenomenon that labels and haters couldn't ignore. Troubles behind bars, but the road wasn't clean. Fame brought money and spotlights, but it also brought targets. All enemies didn't vanish. Legal trouble showed up. He got locked up more than once, and every time the internet exploded, some people judged, some made him a villain. Through every headline, he kept making music, sometimes from behind the walls or right after stepping out. When you live like that, your music flips different. Pain turns into hooks, anger into verses. He used those nights locked up like fuel, and the fans, they watched every move, every arrest, every courtroom day. It added to the legend, but don't glamorize, it cost him. Relationships got strained, babies came into the world while he was in and out, and trust got thin. On top of that, there was cloud chasing, outline, fights, diss tracks, people exploiting his life for clicks. Yet he stayed stubborn about himself. That's why his fan base stayed loyal. They knew the flows, they knew the drama, but they also knew the truth behind his songs. Real ones ride with real ones, and his fans kept riding. Resilience, families, and the others. What people sleep on is this. Behind the headlines, he is a dad and a son. He got kids that he thinks about every day. Sometimes fame made him distant. Sometimes it made him fight harder for them. A lot of his music is love letters to his kids and to the people that held him down. That softness in his voice, that's real. It's the same kid who felt alone in a loud world. He also learned to flip his hustle. Instead of only chasing street respect, he poured into his art, dropping unexpected albums, feeding his fans, and building a brand. He ain't perfect, but he didn't quit, even when the system tried to snatch him. He came back with bars that hit deeper, that resilience. That's the core of the story. Here's the lesson: you can come from the worst corner and still speak your truth loud enough to move people. You can make mistakes and still try to do better. His story ain't blueprint to copy, it's a warning and a map. Warning for the traps, map for the hustle. If you listen close, you'll hear both of his tracks. So that's the shortcut through Youngboy's life. From the struggle to the superstardom, from the block to billions of streams, from 8 lines to the heart. He's complicated, messy, human, and that's why his story matters. If his music taught us anything, it's that pain can be a mic and truth can be your strongest flow. If you vibe with this, hit the like, subscribe, and drop in the comments what Youngboy song hit you hardest. Share this with somebody who needs to hear a raw story tonight. Peace.